Hi guys and welcome to the circus. So here we have another card fight for you guys. So this is gonna be our ToC V Premium Tournament Semifinals. So this is gonna be on the left side Sir Noah playing his Shiranui, and on the right side is gonna be Sir Kenneth playing his Dailiner Dai Kaiser deck. So it's Shiranui versus Dai Kaiser Dailiner. So here we have Sir Kenneth riding onto grade 1 onto Dai Prop, which is one of the best starters of the clan right now, and he's gonna be putting back a grade 3 to draw 2, which is a lot of plus very early in the game. So he's gonna be riding now, he's gonna be drawing a card first and riding onto grade 1, which is the grade 3 searcher for a soul blast if both sides are in the same grade. So let's see if he's gonna be drawing first instead of just checking the top 7 first. So he's gonna be drawing first and gonna be checking the top 7 for a potential grade 3 and adding it to his hand. He's now gonna be getting a quick shield first because he used the starter skill first, checking the top 7, and if he checks a grade 3, he's gonna be adding it to hand. He forgot the cost first, but it's fine. So he's gonna be soul blasting it anyway after a few seconds. So don't worry about that. So looking at the matchup right now, it's Shiranui versus Dai Kaiser Dailiner. It's a really interesting matchup, if I say so, because given that Shiranui produces a lot of protect markers at the very start of its grade 3 turn, given how DP plays right now using Dai Kaiser in their arsenal, 2 protect markers is enough to stop. No, the opponent needs 2 protect markers, not specifically to protect markers, 2 sentinels to block its attack. So if he has since protect markers are easily accessible in Shiranui, given that it produces 2 at the same every single turn, it's gonna be a big of a hurdle for Sir Kenneth here to get over, given that Shiranui has a lot of plus to their hand. So let's just see what happens throughout the match. So he's gonna be riding onto Kaizard and then getting the Dailiner from the top 5 using his Grand Rope, and he's gonna be discarding a critical trigger. He's gonna be very careful on what he discards here because he can just bind it using his Shiranui and produces a domination token that gets drive check. So he's gonna be swinging for 1 damage there. Sakura Fubuki goes to the damage zone and he proceeds to his grade 2 turn. So riding onto the grade 2 that produces tokens. So he's gonna be calling down a copy of the grade 3 searcher to check the top 5. Will he fetch a grade 3 or not? So let's see what his decisions are in this turn. So the current matchup, again, as I said before, is a pretty interesting one, and he drops the grade 3 that is that's Fuzen Kongo, I believe that's the name. It's a very huge finisher, but it requires a lot of setup. So we'll see what happens on this decision, because it is a very important finisher for the deck. He's digging it up, but he decides to not keep it right now and just discard it, maybe just to deck thin for 1. So he swinged CB1, called 2 tokens, bounced the grade 3 searcher to hand, and he checks nothing there for a 1 to pass. So unfortunately he couldn't get over damage, but it's actually might be a part of the plan because he can just basically damage deny him right now and prevent a bunch of other stuff happening. So he's gonna be getting forced to onto the rearguard circle and uses the Kaiser that he rode upon to counter, not counterblast one, it's discard a card and produce another force to the vanguard circle, making Dailiner a 2 crit for the entire game. So let's see what happens here. He's gonna be using the Dailiner here to soul blast 1 CB1 to check top 7 to fetch a grade 3. If he fetch a grade 3, he's gonna be getting 2 crits, 1 crit more plus 20k power. So he's gonna be getting a Dai Kaiser to his hand, fulfilling all the requirements, making a 33k, 3 crits by the way. So if he checks 2 crits here in his first vanguard swing, it's lethal. It's basically lethal. So that's the worst case scenario here, and I hope that's not gonna happen very early. So he's gonna be calling down a bunch of cards. Maybe he decided to rush here because he wants to take advantage of the fact that he can't farm a bunch of cards yet, especially protect markers. He knows this matchup quite well, as we see right now. He's decided to just commit hand and start pushing, because this is one of the most vulnerable turns for the Shiranui player, and he's also taking advantage of going first. So he's gonna be guarding that for 20k, not using heal guardians by the way. For now, he decided to not run heal guardians. Basically, he's gonna be swinging for 3 crits, massive number. He's taking checking it. First check, nothing. Second check, no triggers. Unfortunately, he's checking 3 damage still and no defensives. So it's still a very threatening turn. He's now swinging for a 23k column here. He's checking if he wants to use the last soul for this skill. If he does so, he can get one more power basically, and just basically burn more cards. But if he doesn't, he's just gonna be a 23k asking for 15k shield. So it's not that bad, but maybe he's just reserving resources for now for future turns, given maybe he doesn't have that much cards to re-ride. So that's still something to take note of, given the limited amount of resources that DP has in V. So he's gonna be riding onto grade 3 right now. He's gonna be riding, I think, into the regular Shiranui, and he's gonna be getting Protect 1. Now it's time to farm. So he's gonna be the farming Protect markers right now in his hand to prepare for a Dai Kaiser turn. So he's gonna be discarding a Jamyo Kongo from his hand and riding the Shiranui Oboro from his deck and producing yet again another Protect 1 and adding it to his hand. So he's gonna be getting one more Protect marker. It's basically securing 1 or 2 attacks, or basically 1 Dai Kaiser swing. So he's gonna be calling down another grade 3 searcher and checks for a Jamyo Kongo, a copy of Shiranui, the regular Shiranui, which also has a very good rearguard skill that synergizes well and needs to be done in this deck. So he's gonna be just discarding a Protect 1. Wow, that's pretty interesting. He decided to just discard a Protect 1 instead. So he has 1 Protect marker right now, but if he has like a bunch of other draw triggers in hand, draw Sentinels, it's 2 Sentinels, so it secures him a Dai Kaiser turn, given that he knows that he has Dai Kaiser in his hand. Sir Kenneth has a Dai Kaiser right now, he checked earlier. So he's calling down the Shiranui, the regular Shiranui on the rearguard, using that skill of the Shiranui Oboro to discard 1 CB1 and then bind a card from the opponent's field or graveyard drop zone, and then getting the original crit and the original power, and then getting the skill if it has a rearguard skill, and basically getting the drive if he has the 2 or more cards in the soul that has Shiranui in the name. And given this setup that we have right now, it's gonna be securing that. So it basically means that his rearguard now, his token is now able to drive check, but unfortunately it's only 10k at the moment, so it couldn't get the plus power right now. It's a 1 to pass and 1 drive, but if he can get the Vanguard right now, his Vanguard up to 37, at least 1 trigger, his Diamond Ace dominated token, I almost lost the word there, he's gonna be getting plus 5k, plus, right? It's a soul, he's gonna be using the skill to basically soul blast 1 and get plus 10k and 1 crit with a drive. So it worked like that. So he's gonna be guarding here, he's gonna be guarding there for a 10k shield because it's a grade 3 because of Dailiner, and he's gonna be bouncing that using the skill of Oboro, and then he's forced to discard a card. So let's see here. Game state is 4-1, by the way. He started to just farm more cards here and basically try to survive until the next turn, because if he can make the game last long enough, he can possibly reach his win con. So he checks 2 triggers and double blanks. That is really unfortunate, meaning this dominated token is now only a 10k 1 to pass. So he's now going to be thinking here on what to do. If it checks a crit or any trigger, it's going to be passing, and if it's a crit, the worst case scenario is a crit, so he's going to be going to 4. So he's just thinking here if it's worth it to risk it or not. So he's now double checking here. Game set is still 4-2, which is on the favor of the Dai Kaiser or Dailiner players. So we're gonna be checking a Jamyo Kongo, which is not a trigger, meaning it won't pass, but it's still a plus in hand. So it's now gonna be standing and drawing onto the Sir Kenneth's turn, and let's see what happens here. So he's gonna be using he's just basically hesitating here on using Dailiner's skill instead of just committing these other resources to other units. So let's see what his decision will be. So given the board state, once again it's 4-2, meaning every single attack of Sir Kenneth here is possibly very lethal. However, Shiranui already tried his best to farm as much cards as possible, and given the previous turn that Sir Kenneth had, he decided to just not commit grade 3s on the board just yet, especially the drop zone for Shiranui to bind. So meaning it really helped a ton there. He used Dailiner skill to CB1 Soul Blast 1 and fetched a what you call it? What's the name again? The grade 3 that rewrites. I forgot. I'm sorry. Yeah. So yeah, Brad Black. Oh, I almost lost the word there. So it's Brad Black to his hand, meaning his Vanguards are gonna be getting 20k 1 crit once again. It's lethal. It's very lethal. It's a huge number. Let's see what his decision will be in this turn. So let's proceed to just checking what to do. Okay, he's calling down another Platinum Ace, and it's a 10k, but it's gonna be getting onto 20k, but he lacks soul. It's just a 10k with 2 crits. So he's swinging with his Vanguard now for a lethal attack. Every single, oh no, the rest of the attacks here are still able to hit. The other one is just 1 crit, and the other one is 10k with nothing. So with 2 crits, but it won't hit unless he has soul. First check is a draw trigger. Will he give everything to Diamond Ace or not? Let's see what this decision will be. So he still has Shiranui still has 2 tokens here to intercept, so it's still a value here. So he's giving everything to his Platinum Ace. Yeah, Platinum Ace, and then it's now gonna be able to keep pressuring because it's a 20k 2 crit, so he needs to guard this, and he still has 2 tokens on the board, so I think it's enough to intercept. Yep, he's gonna be committing those 10k intercept and then just basically guard it for free. He's swinging for 13. He's gonna be taking it, checks a heal, which is not that big, not that worse, and not that bad. It's actually, it's okay. It's a counter charge basically, but what I mean here is that even though he healed, every single attack of Sir Kenneth is still lethal. So it's still not good. He's still in a pretty rough spot basically. So he needs to farm a bunch of cards and hopefully get the tempo going with this turn. So he's gonna be riding again onto Shiranui Oboro and using the skill of his Magatsu Gale on play CB1 Soul Blast 1, draw a card and give it plus 6k. So right here, let's see. He committed a lot of grade 3s earlier, so he can now bind cards from the drop zone, and decides to bind the Dailiner on the drop zone, from the drop zone. So he's gonna be CB1 discarding a card and getting a domination token, and discarding the Magatsu Gale. The grade 2 that produces token. I forgot the name. So he's now gonna be calling down the token that gets 13k base, 1 crit, and twin drive. And he's now going to be calling Magatsu Gale once again to convert the CB and the other cards in the soul to draw. That's just basically a lot of plus, a lot of digging. He's slowly but surely getting to that win con. Using Sakura Fubuki on play skill CB1, I mean, it's just discard a card, draw a card, and if you have 1 or less face down cards, 1 or less face up cards in your damage zone, it's now going to be counter charging 1, which is amazing. So he's now going to be getting plus 3k to that column, and it's just every panel is quite big. It's decent numbers. 15 plus 11 is 36, and the other side is 23, I believe. No, math, 26 and 23. So yeah, okay, let's see. He's now swinging for 13k twin drive to the opponent's Vanguard. He's still at 2 damage. It's still a pretty good spot. It's 2 to pass now. First check, nothing. Second check, what will he check? He checks a draw trigger, so the Sentinel, which is a very important thing to have, and giving everything to the Shiranui Oboro. So he's now swinging for 37, which is a massive number twin drive. He's taking it. First check, a draw trigger once again. There goes the triggers as he's been looking for all this game. So he's going to be checking here, draw a card, and a crit to the Vanguard, power to the other side. So both sides have plus 10k. Check, no triggers there. That's pretty unfortunate. Well, he's now going to be swinging for 36. The other side is 33. So yeah, he checked no triggers there. He needs to guard everything here, otherwise he's checking it, and he checks a heal, giving power to the Vanguard, and basically it's a good time to heal. You can still take 1 more damage or basically guard it fairly easily now. He's still committing a PG there, discarding the Brad Black. That's quite something. He just bounced everything back to his hand using his Magatsu Gale, and just basically a lot of plus. Look at his hand. His hand is so goddamn big. It's a bunch of sentinels, a bunch of cards in his hand. It's just a lot of value right now. That was a very insane turn for Shiranui right there. So he evened out the playing field right now, so 4-4, but right now he's still at 4 damage, meaning every single attack is lethal. Given he re-ridden onto Brad Black, which is a very good ride right now, because he can basically now swing for a bunch of times. He called Dai Kaiser as well, which means that his Vanguard swing is a lot more lethal than before. So he's now going to be swinging no boost just yet, so it's going to be 23 with 2 crits. Oh, he's swinging. Okay, he's actually boosting, so it's 36. Now he's gonna be Protect 1. He's now gonna be discarding a card. It's a Dai Kaiser skill, so let's see. Okay, he's gonna be if he checks a grade 3 right now, he's gonna be dealing a damage, but he's fairly safe. First check, second check, a heal that goes off, and it's a grade 3 as well, which is very big. So he still takes 1 damage by counter blasting 1. So right now he's gonna be using Brad Black's skill after the battle. He's gonna be checking top 7 for a grade 3, fetching it to his hand. He whiffs actually, and he decides to whether or not he will re-ride or not, but most likely he will, because why not? So let's see what he re-rides right now. Okay, give it a say it's 5-3. He just turned the table over that heal. That's very big. Now he's gonna be riding onto Great Daiyusha. So force 2, but doesn't really mean anything that much right now, because every single column right now has a force 2. Basically everything is lethal, and he just plus the board with 20k because of Brad Black from before, and then on place of Great Daiyusha. So swinging for what you call it, this is a big number, right? This is 23, 33. Yeah, it's still 23 with 1 drive, or 33 with 1 drive. So it's still proccing Dai Kaiser's skill. So yeah, this is quite big. So let's see if he will risk it or not. So let's see what happens here. He's now going to be going to protect 1. He's now going to be thinking of what to do here. If he checks 1 more grade 3 here, he might die. So he needs to be secure here, but given the amount of plus that he had, plus the protect markers, plus the additional triggers, I mean the draw sentinels that we saw before, it's secured. So discarding the Magatsu Gale from his hand, and he needs to commit 1 more PG here, or if he or just basically risk it, but I doubt that will be the case. He needs to commit 1 more sentinel here in order to stop Dai Kaiser's skill if he checks a grade 3. So it's still quite a risk, but given DP, you don't want to risk it right now. You have a fat hand, so you need to commit a lot of cards here in order to be safe from the remaining attacks. So he's now going to be checking here. He's going to be committing 2 PGs. The one PG is procced, and the other one is not gonna be paying the cost. So he checked a grade 3 there, which means that if he didn't do that, he would have lost right then and there. But he's now gonna be swinging now for 20, 30, 40k. He's committing to 15k. That's enough. That's 42. So he's now gonna be swinging now for 33, 46, and a PG again. So he survived there, but he committed almost every single PG. I think every single perfect card is discarded right there, which is a very huge turn, but he survived it. That's really amazing. But the state is still not leveled out. He's still at 5 damage, and Sir Kenneth is at 3. He healed it out. He healed out earlier, which is a very big heal, not gonna lie. So he's using now Shiranui Oboro's skill to CB1, and then discard a card, and then get the Dai Kaiser from the field, bind it, and then get a token, get Twin Drive. It's just a lot of value. Checking the top 5 for the Fuzen Kongo. Now that Fuzen Kongo card is live right now. He's at 5 damage, a ton of drop zone. Basically, if he decides and if it sets up fairly well, he might die. But take note that Sir Kenneth is still at 3 damage. So he's fairly safe for now unless he goes to 5 before he could attack with his Fuzen Kongo. So he's using now Magatsu Gale to CB1 Soul Blast 1 and draw a card, basically filtering out the deck, I think, and then just hoping to just filter as much cards as possible. He's calling now his what you call it, Fuzen Kongo to check Fuzen Kongo, and then checks top 5 for a potential grade 3. He doesn't get anything, but his drop zone is fat. He's just basically filling up the drop zone a bunch of times, but given the amount of drop zone cards he has right now and the setup that he has, it's big enough. It's almost impossible to guard, given also Sir Kenneth's amount of cards in his hand. He has an intercept, but it doesn't mean much at the moment. So let's see what happens here. This is a very interesting turn, and it's just basically, as we see right now, he's going all out. He's just basically committing every single card because he knows that next turn he can't do anything against DP. He committed a bunch of Sentinels earlier, and it's a very important turn for Shiranui right now. He committed everything there, discard a card and draw a card and counter charge one using a Sakura Fubuki skill. So let's see what he does right here. He's swinging for 13k. By the way, if he heals here, that Fuzen Kongo is now disabled because he needs specifically 5 damage right now to proc that skill. Let's see with its 4 drive checks. We didn't see a bunch of heals earlier. This is pretty scary. So this skill is still, he's just hoping to not heal, because if he heals, that unit is now a sitting duck. So yeah, let's see what his decisions will be in this situation. It's 13k twin drive to the opponent's Vanguard. Now let's see what happens here. He might commit a 15k to the pass this or not. I think it's safe to the passes because you're gonna be expecting to put it on other stuff after the drive checks regardless, because he's still at 3, so he's gonna be 2 to pass. He's gonna be first check. Whoa, that first check is quite it's a flicking heal. Yeah, it's a heal. All right, so giving everything to the Fuzen Kongo, but unfortunately he healed there, and meaning he just can't use Fuzen Kongo again this turn. No, this turn he can't just use it because it's 4. That's one heal. That's one situation that you don't want to heal. So unfortunately he did heal, and yeah, he's now just gonna be swinging for 27. Just hope to win right here, right now. He's still he's taking the damage. Okay, first check, a crit to the Vanguard and power to Fuzen Kongo just to beef it up, not make it a sitting duck, and checks another heal. He checks 2 heals. He heals down to 3, which is a very big situation right now, and giving the additional power to Magatsu Gale. He checked 1 defensive though, and the other one is not. He's at 5. If he just didn't check a heal there, he would have secured the game right here, right now. He's swinging for a massive number right here. He's now going to be asking for at least 20k shield or 15k shield or a PG or something. He PG'd that one. He doesn't have that much cards anymore in his hand. This one goes through. I think this one goes through. This is just 1 damage, and like here he's bouncing the grade 1, the grade 3 searcher to his hand. And let's see what happens here. He's now just swinging for a massive number. This has 3 triggers basically, right? That's 33 and 44. He checks the last damage and it's not a heal trigger, meaning Shiranui secured the game for this semi-finals match. This is a best of 1 and the finals is a best of 3. So basically Shiranui is now proceeding to the finals to face off whoever wins against whoever wins on the other table. It's Prism versus Luward. So look forward to that, the next episode. And for now, this is going to be it for me, and see you guys next time.